get skin fold dermatitis around there, or they won't urinate completely out of the body, and they'll have to help pull some urine. So that thing has the ability to change shape dynamically. And then obviously a moment of receptivity. All right, so let's talk about the cow. The biggest thing, as we've talked about, is standing to be mounted, okay? So standing to be mounted, and many times it is those other females in the herd, right? We talked about a sexually active group, SAG, all right? So those girls will detect estrus in one another, and that is a physical, visual cue for the bull to come down and inspect. Usually inspect those girls initially, with his nose. We'll oftentimes find that the cows that were doing the mounting may be in heat in the next few days. So there might have been a little bit of estrus rising on board, enticing them to participate in that behavior, okay? So some of the strange things that the cattle will do when they're heat, this is all of these things right here. Ultimately, if these were not fenced in, what would all these behaviors lead to? What is she ultimately trying to do? What? No. Yeah, looking for a bull. She is seeking out the male. We call it walking the fence. Well, she's only walking the fence because you put up a fence. If you didn't have a fence there, she'd be walking to find a bull. So she's acting all anxious and bellowing all the time, and call it lowing. They make this little noise, kind of love call of the cow there. But they're busy. They're busy. They want to be bred. They want to propagate themselves. So real quickly, he had some good videos in here, and they didn't come along when we transferred this over. So I'm going to play this real quickly. In case you guys have not seen, some real estrus activity. So this guy has, I skipped through this because he came and sniffed her once or twice, and then he walked off, and then he's kind of come back, okay? So you see his tongue going in and out of his nose. He's detecting all those pheromones. He smelled it, and so then he's going to physically taste it as well. And again, he may only breed her once. He's got to get this right. You can see, so what is that called? Fleming response. You'll never forget it now, right? As you'll see in a minute, there's a lot of effort that goes into this, so he's kind of got to get it right. So you see how she's moving away? This cow probably, maybe even later on in the day, she'll let him breed her, but she's kind of not completely standing, obviously. So this cow probably is pro-estrus, right? He's going to stay, continually try. Cameraman gets off, and he gets distracted. I don't know where this is. It's just a random video. Everybody's enamored with the babies, right? Hey, distant, So we don't get to see him actually mount, but she kind of thinks about breaking down right there, but you can see she's still moving her head back and forth, and like, hey, she hasn't completely lent herself. So she is at least, in pro-estrus, and probably, like I said, if this was the morning time, she'll probably let him breed her later on in the day, in the evening. But you can see how he's kind of petting on her, he's kind of talking her into it, I'm gonna scratch your back for you a little bit, all that kind of stuff. And the real sad part here is the children just watching. That's the sad part of this. If you have, these calves are pretty good size right here. You actually, some of these animals that we have, we'll talk about puberty on another day. Some of these guys will make testosterone at such an early age, before they are weaned, that they will help you do heat watch. I mean, they will know when these cows are in heat. You can see she's just not really lending herself to the whole affair here. But this is just really estrus protection, okay? We can look at and talk about breeding more. So you guys get the gist of that. There are lots of things in bovine world that we can use to help us find cows in heat. There's a lot of different marker systems. So this is right here is a patch that you would glue on to the tail head. So that little mesh right there is there just to have an interface for that glue to really kind of seep through those pores and really stick. So we use this really, it's almost like tar. It's so thick, and you stick it on these girls' backs on their tail heads. This is not the only one. This is particularly called heat watch. There are things called beacons, which are actually, you guys, you have the little, you gotta crack it, and then shake it up. We have those for cows. So when the bull jumps on her back and his chest that's hitting that thing, or whatever it is, sometimes they're just, they look like a clean sheet of paper, and really they're kind of like a lotto scratch off. The more he rubs on it, it'll rub the top layer off, and you can see it bright neon color. If they are the glow stick looking ones, the cool thing about the glow stick ones is that you can do heat watch at night. That's the whole point, is that you can see from a distance, who's lit up, and then, to go track that cow down and then breed her in the morning. This system here is actually telemetry. It is a sensor, so it's like a button. Every time he lands on her back or another cow lands on her back, it's pushing the button, and we're sending a signal back to our computer in the house or in the barn or wherever, and it's going to keep track of that for you. Okay, so kind of a cool little system. Obviously more expensive. Obviously tends to go wrong on the day you want to use it, but it's out there and utilized frequently. You can see they're glued on all the tail heads of those cows right there. Marker harnesses. This is called a chin ball harness. So there's kind of like a big ball of chalk or cow crayons, kind of a waxy crayon. So he's going to wear that. And you saw that bull rubbing his back or rubbing his chin up on that cow's back as he was trying to, pet on her and talk her into getting in the mood. So you're then going to look out at the cows that have the marker on their backside. Okay, and when he really is mounting her, he'll tend to rest, the stallion does it too, rest his chin on their back. But we would like to probably catch these girls before he actually mounts them. Most of the time, the bull that would be wearing this would not necessarily be a bull that we're actually going to breed these cows with. He would be probably what we would consider a teaser bull. Anybody know what a teaser bull is? Gomer bull is sometimes a nickname. It's terrible. It's just, you don't want to come back as a Gomer. It's a rough life.